Yeah. Well, you've been here. Wow. Well, thank you, Minnesota. Thank you. Well, I don't know about you, but I've had a week, so I know you have too. But let me just start out by saying it's great to be home. You came home. It's great to be home. And I do want to start a huge thank you and an I love you to Minnesota's First Lady, to Gwen. Thank you, Gwen. And to our amazing kids, Hope and Gus, they are everything to us, so thank you. And a big thank you to my family. My mom is here, who I want to say thank you to, Darlene. So. We did okay, didn't we? We did okay. She did a great job. I think she's as surprised as anybody that we're here, but and a huge thank you to Vice President Kamala Harris. First, for the faith that she placed in me, but more importantly, for the powerful and joyful campaign that she ran. I'm grateful for her leadership and forever grateful for her friendship. Also, a huge thank you to my staff, both the folks who worked on this campaign, who we got to know over the last 3 months, and to the amazing team right here in Minnesota. We showed the country these guys are the best in the business, and I'm proud to be your teammate in this. Thank you all. And to all of you, I want to thank every single person who stood with us in this fight, whether it was volunteers, donors, voters, or what I see in here, lifelong friends. It's an honor of a lifetime to have your support, and I'll never forget everything that you did to stand up for the values that we share together. So thank you to each and every one of you. It's like my life is in front of me as I look around here and see everybody, so it's wonderful. But look, folks, I just want to acknowledge the moment. It's hard. It's hard to lose. It's hard to understand, while so many of our fellow citizens, people that we have fought so long and hard for, wound up choosing the other path. It's hard to reckon with what that path looks like over the next 4 years. So if you're feeling deflated, discouraged today, I get it. Take some time, take care of yourselves, take care of your loved ones, take care of your community. There's a million ways to make a positive difference, and get back in this fight when you're ready. And know that whenever you're ready to get back in that fight, I'll be standing right here ready to fight the fight with you. And while we haven't had a whole lot of time to process this, I can tell you, even in the face of defeat and deep disappointment, I've never felt more inspired. I've never felt more motivated. I've never felt more fired up of what's possible in this country. You know, I've gotten to see an awful lot of America over the last 3 months, more than I ever thought I was going to see. I've made many new friends. I've learned a lot of new things. I ate way too much local food, but I can order donuts, people. I can order donuts. But I have to be honest with you, what struck me everywhere I went, without exception, people really wanted the same basic things out of an American life. And I want to be clear, when I say basic things, I mean things like meaningful work, safe neighborhoods, good schools, affordable quality health care. But I also mean something more. It became clear to me, people want security. And I mean that broadly. They want to feel like their life is built on a solid foundation that won't collapse under them if the wind blows the wrong way or something happens. People want an opportunity where they feel like they can get ahead, not just settling to get by. And they really are concerned about giving their kids a chance to get ahead. And I think most of all, and you saw it in a very deep way, people want freedom to live their lives the way they want to live them. It's not the way maybe their neighbors wouldn't want to live them the same way, but the freedom is supposed to be everybody's birthright, not because of how much money you had or where your family came from, no matter who you loved or how you prayed or what you think about the issues of the day are. And everywhere I've gone, I've had the opportunity to tell people how things work here in Minnesota. And you know us, I had to work really hard to make sure that it didn't sound like we were bragging, you know, slip it in, slip it in. But the truth is, the way we do things here sounded pretty damn good to Americans across this country. Together, we've made Minnesota one of the best places for kids to live. And we did it with a broad agenda. We did it by cutting taxes, but for working people and small businesses. We committed to making clean energy and lowering the cost of prescription drugs a priority. And we made sure that when you walked into a school like this, every child got free breakfast and lunch. We made college free for lower-income students and paid family and medical leave for everyone across the state. We expanded the right to organize your workplace. We made our streets safer. We invested in affordable housing, and we made public education a priority. And we also did it by standing up for our shared values and rejecting hatred and bigotry. We, across this state, have fought for everyone's right to participate fully in our democracy and in our society. We have refused to scapegoat immigrants in this state. And we were the first to establish an ironclad right to reproductive freedom. When I tell that story across the country, you could see people saying, "Where is this magical place?" And then someone would have to say, "But it gets cold." Yeah. But you know what? The way we did it was actually simple. Not easy. Those are two different things. Not easy, but simple and straightforward. We worked for it. We fought for it. We organized for it. And we had a set of leaders that when we finally built the political capital we needed to get it done, we didn't bank it, we burned it improving lives. And I can tell you what I've learned over the last 3 months is an awful lot of Americans are game for exactly that. Exactly that. Here's the thing, too. Nothing about Tuesday night changes any of that. Nothing. But here's what it did tell us. We're going to have to work a little harder. We're going to have to fight a little harder. We're going to have to organize a little harder. But I'm here to tell you today to tell you this. We can do it No, that's the wrong one. We will do it, and we'll do it together. We will do it. So for now, I just want to say thank you, Minnesota, for giving me such an incredible story to tell to our fellow Americans in the other states. I do want to take a few minutes and talk about a few words about our path forward. I know there's a lot of folks that are worried about the next 4 years and what they're going to look like. I'm one of them. The agenda we heard from the other side in this campaign was very different from the one we know is right for our state and our country. We've already seen the damage a president can cause when he's in it for himself, not the American people. Look, we know what's coming down the pike. We know it because they told us. And we're going to have to be ready to defend the progress that we've made here in Minnesota. The other side spent a lot of time campaigning and talking about and promising that they would leave things up to the states. Well, I'm willing to take them at their word for that. But the moment they try and bring a hateful agenda in this state, I'm going to stand ready to stand up and fight for the way we do things here. Look, Minnesota always has and always will be there to provide shelter from the storm. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will protect a woman's right to make her own health care decisions. As long as I am governor of Minnesota, we will welcome immigrants with gratitude for their contributions to our communities. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will stand with the rest of the world in fighting climate change and developing new clean energy solutions. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we'll be a state that respects democracy, a place where we're proud of our civic debate and where we don't demonize people who disagree with us. As long as I'm governor of Minnesota, we will defend our kids' freedoms to go to school without worrying about being shot dead in their classrooms. And by the way, as long as I'm governor, Minnesota will always be a labor state, a state that stands with working people no matter who they voted for. But I will say and acknowledge this, about 1.5 million of our fellow Minnesotans voted for the other side in this election. And while there might not be a place in our state for the most extreme elements of that agenda, there should be a place in our politics for everyone to be heard. I think sometimes we can be quick to judge people who don't agree with us, to assume that they act out of cruelty or fear or self-interest. I don't think that kind of judgment is helpful right now, and I don't think it's right. I think we ought to swallow, and this is me in this as I'm speaking about myself, swallow a little bit of pride and look a little harder to find common ground with our neighbors who didn't vote like we did in this election. Maybe we won't agree on every issue. Hell, maybe we won't agree on any issue. But maybe when the campaign signs come down, we all get a little break from the rhetoric and the TV ads and the fundraising texts, and I'm sorry about those. Maybe when we get a little break from this campaign that we're in, we'll be able to look at each other and see not enemies but neighbors. And maybe we'll be able to sit down over coffee or a Diet Mountain Dew and just talk. Talk about our kids. Talk about the lives we want to build for them. Talk about the things that really matter. how we treat each other, how we look out for each other, and how we support each other in difficult times. For my part, I'm going to try even harder to do that as governor. Nobody, not the DFLers, not Republicans, nobody has a monopoly on good intentions or good ideas. And now that this election is behind us, I'm going to try even harder to keep an open mind, open heart, and really listen to folks who don't support me or my policies, to work with everyone in the legislature to seek compromise and common ground. Because that's how we come back together after such a long time spent fighting each other. That's how we heal the rips in the